All right, Kevin, back with you for another episode of the $1 Million Relationships Podcast. And I'll tell you what, man, I'm really excited for this conversation today because this is going to be awesome. And today I'm here with Tommy Clifford. Tommy, welcome. So awesome to have you on the call today, man.
Kevin, thank you for allowing me to share, and we have a little dialogue. We're going to have a few laughs. We're going to learn. We're going to grow, and hopefully I get inspired to do better things. I hope I leave a better person. That's what I want to do. And you know what? We might inspire some people along the way. How great is that?
I'm counting on it. I'm counting on it.
Love it. And, love every minute of it.
You know, I want to start off by giving a shout out to John Moyer. I know you and John, man, you guys go way back. And I interviewed John a little bit ago, and just, man, him and I just became really great friends. And after interviewing him for the podcast, he was like, Kevin, you have absolutely got to talk with my buddy Tommy and stuff. And you know, what a testament to what this podcast is all about, which is about relationships. And I have long believed that as an entrepreneur, relationships are our most valuable asset. Everything else stems from there. And so, John, if you get a chance to listen to this, thank you, man. I'm just, Tommy and I have had a couple conversations already, and man, we just totally hit it off. And I am looking forward to this conversation today. And Tommy, so what I want to do is I just really want to start. I want to turn it over to you. I want to, let you have the opportunity to set a little bit of context so that the listeners get an idea of who you are. And so, share, what you do, who you serve, what inspires you most about the work you do, even maybe get into a little bit of the background, the backstory of how you got into doing what you do. And we'll just start there, Tommy.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. And thank you, John Moyer, a dear friend from college. The story is as crazy as this is. And I think the world of him and his sweetheart. Okay, so I'm the oldest of 7 kids born in upstate New York, Kodak Town. We had a fridge in the basement full of 35 millimeter film for photos and slides. And I remember the day my dad bought that fridge, and we had neighbors would work there. So we got free photo processing. Wow. So Christmas pictures were horrible. We never ran out of film. And that was just, I dreaded that. But as the oldest, I kind of watched Kodak grow. And then I remember the black day, Kevin, the day Kodak stopped giving away free photo processing. Oh man, we all had black armbands. We had to pay for photos. It was like, and my dad's 83 years old, and I think like in the late as he was like 75, 76, he actually got rid of that freezer. We've had it in the basement that long with film in it.
Wow. Wow.
And now I'm the father of 5. I went to Brigham Young University, and I got married and had a beautiful little lady, and we wanted to live closer to grandparents.
Okay.
So I sent some resumes to upstate New York and to the Oshkosh, Green Bay area. And I got a job here, and I went out of school and started in the union, and I started in digital prepress. So I've spent the last 30 years in digital prepress, back from using the Mac Plus to laser printers, the whole 9 yards, cutting your teeth before PDF files were even, the ubiquitous tool that we have now. And I grew into that role, and I started running, and it was merged, and I worked with a company called R.R. Donnelley, and I ran their North American prepress operations. And then, I wanted to get out of that. And during COVID, I decided that prepress and graphic arts wasn't it. Let me go get my real estate license. I had some agents who knew me and needed technical help. And they said, hey, we can't pay you unless you get a license. Okay, we'll pay for your real estate school. Okay, I'm still listening. They got me by the ear. I'm still listening. And so COVID, I studied. I did a couple things during COVID as a family. We decided to meet around the kitchen table and said, okay, this is going to be a little bit different. We're all going to get the opportunity to spend more family time. I want you, each one of you kids, to pick something that you want to learn, a skill that you want to do, because we were going to have extra time. We didn't know what was going to happen, but I decided that my real estate license and learning Final Cut Pro video editing was going to be mine.
Okay.
My wife had some things. Emma and Drew had some things, and so I got my real estate license and I started helping agents in a technology way. Because once you're in technology, if it starts plugging into a wall, it's just a different plug. Someone says, well, I have this CRM. Okay, well, I've used this one. Well, this is just the same thing, just a little different names. Everything's it's all the same. And so agents started now coming to me and started using me as the tech guy.
Okay.
And then I left the agents I was working with, and then I became the director of technology for Keller Williams. And so during my daytime, I'm doing that, while in the evenings, I'm serving others. I sit on the board of directors right now. I'm vice president or vice chair of the board of directors for Prospera Credit Union. Next year, I'm going to be the chairman of the board. That completely blows me away. Kevin, sit down. I get it. That's kind of crazy. But I've been on the board since 2010, and It's amazing to watch because I'm kind of goofy. I have a huge marketing technology slant, but between the 9 of us, we work together and we understand. I don't understand everything that needs to be understood. That didn't sound right. That didn't sound good.
It was perfect, Tommy.
I don't understand everything, but between the 9 of us, we all understand everything.
Yeah.
And mergers, acquisitions, moving new core processors, adding technology, taking away technology, hiring a CEO, all these different things I got to do, and I get to do, and it's amazing. I love the credit union. It's a nonprofit or not-for-profit organization, so we don't get paid. This is all community service. Okay. I do that, and then I also sit on the board of directors of a nonprofit called Compassionate Home Healthcare, where we help out those who are in need with home healthcare supplies, and so cleaning supplies and personal hygiene supplies. And we work with big Fortune 500 companies to give us items, toilet paper, toothpaste, all the different things. And we make bags of deliverables to these people. Then we work with the Outagamie County, Winnebago County, all the different networks that are there to give them these bags. And last year, I think we delivered 5,000 bags to 2,500 different families, because each family gets 2 bags. And being able to watch this work, watch the director work, because the director has to be the cheerleader of this organization, and she's the biggest advocate, and she's the advocate for those people who can't do it themselves. Yeah. She's advocating for these people, and Kevin, it's remarkable. It's remarkable to be a part of a like a 50-50 raffle or an event where we know where that money is going to go to, and to see the smiles on these people's faces when we show up at Christmas time, delivering them, giving them something they can't buy for themselves.
Wow.
And I've always been service oriented. Always. Growing up, my dad was the first person to say, send me. I had a Cub Master. I was in Boy Scouts. I'm a card-carrying Eagle Scout, so I have one of those, and I'll sit in the Eagle's nest if anyone asks me to be a part of an Eagle Court of Honor. And my Cub Master was Bert Weinbrenner, and he was like 78 years old.
Wow.
And he was probably one of the biggest youth influences in me, because at church, when we say, hey, old lady Smith needs some help, he would raise his hand and say, I'll be there. I'll bring a broom, or I'll bring a pizza, or he was always there lending a hand. And it really proved to me that you don't, I mean, granted, you get a lot more with 18, 19, and 20-year-olds, but when someone who's in their 70s shows up, that really instilled in my mind, there's small little pieces of this puzzle that I can add. I don't have to be a tornado, and I don't have to be a V8 engine. You know what? I'm just going to bring a glass of water, or I'm going to do this. That little piece is going to make a difference to somebody.
Yeah.
And light, you know, a big job becomes lighter if everybody just, and the term I like to use is lift where they stand. Just lift a little bit.
Yep.
You know, you don't have to be, I don't have to lift the whole car, but you get 10 people lifting the car and you can move that car.
That's right. That's right.
And you know, Boy Scouting was a really impactful time of my life. Being able to do those service projects, go on campouts. I did stuff I never want to do again. I don't want to go camping when it's -10. Thank you very much. But I did it. I can say I did it. I did some, you know, 10-mile hikes, 100-mile canoe trips. I did that stuff. I checked the box. I have no desire ever, but I did it. And I know that I put my Scoutmaster through, you know, HE double hockey sticks, but you know what? I showed up and I did it. And it was remarkable. Totally remarkable. And so early on, I learned that I need to give back to the community. I need to do something. Now, I don't want to run for political office. That's somebody else's hustle. I just really I like working behind the scenes. I like doing things. I don't want to be on a billboard. I don't want to be, you know, public facing as far as that goes. I just like bringing somebody dinner. I like going over and giving, you know, holding their hand and saying, you know what, I got this. I've got you, because everybody's struggle is different. And, you know, if my engine blows up in my car, I know someone can solve that problem a lot easier than I can. And if someone's computer blows up, hey, I got you. I know how to do this. You got backups to this. I'll put it all together and I can solve that. And I like, you know, I've always kind of lived my day to try to see if I can be the answer to someone's prayer. And it seems really silly, but it's not. I mean, you know, the man upstairs, or whatever you believe in, the man upstairs, he's only got 2 hands. He needs mine to execute. I'm on the execution squad. That sounded bad too. I'm the doer. That's what I'm talking about. You know, service is an action word. I'm not going to serve somebody by sitting on the couch watching YouTube.
That's right.
I'm going to serve somebody by getting in front of them, helping them move, bringing them a dinner, helping whatever it happens to be. And you know, at church, I'm a big service-minded person, whether I'm in a leadership role or not a leadership role. I want to make my little plot of land better than it was when I got here. And that's really what it's all about. And I mentioned this in our previous call, but growing up in upstate New York, there's an awesome supermarket chain called Wegmans. And it's employee, or it's company owned, and it's not a public company. But up to a few years ago, they were like 100% healthcare. They have bonuses. I mean, everybody is tripping over themselves to work at Wegmans. Okay. And the main Wegmans, the corporate Wegmans, the big one, is in my hometown, Pittsford, New York. And in the at the front desk of this Wegmans is a quote by Robert Wegman, and who's basically the founding father of the company. And he says, "I've never given away more than I've gotten back." And that always hit me, thinking about how such a rich man uses that as his core value.
Yeah.
And I think that if more people live their life that way, Kevin, I think this world would be a totally different place. Certainly right now, there's a lot of unrest going on. And I know there's a lot of people, you know, we live in a me society. And don't get me wrong, you know, when I'm getting ready to order a cheeseburger, it's all about me. But when we're helping other people, I get so much more. And this is not Excel math. This is the man upstairs math. I live better on 90% of my income than I do 100% of my income because I tithe. That's my hustle. Nobody has to understand it, but I promise you it works. It totally works. And I live better giving my time to other people and helping them out because I get more in return. And it doesn't add up. This isn't Excel. There's no formula for this, but it works.
Yeah.
And that's how I live my life, Kevin. And that's why we're talking. That if I didn't live that way, I would never have met you and I wouldn't be a better person. That's all there's to it.
Yeah.
100%, 1000%.
Well, what an amazing job you did of just kind of setting the stage a little bit, setting the context and giving, listeners an idea of what makes you tick. I'm really excited to kind of move into this next point now with that context having been set. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to reiterate the question for the benefit of the listeners. And so, Tommy, have you ever been introduced to a person or persons who completely changed the course of your life or your business, so much so that much of what you have today would not be possible if not for this person or persons? And Tommy, I'm just like really excited to hear your story and your experience around this topic of relationships.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And the answer is I'm going to come up with a name, and it's actually different than what we said initially. And there's a story behind the name. And so my name is Rick Wills. The name is Rick Wills, and he was my first boss when I came to work at Bonta.
Okay.
And a great story. So back when I was in Utah, I had the opportunity to interview at Bonta. So I flew in, first time ever. I flew in, I called my dad. Dad, they want to interview with me. They're asking for salary range. And my dad gave me a good quip. He said, you know what? They're never going to pay you a glass slipper if you ask for a sneaker. Okay, good one. Thanks, Thomas Robert Clifford.
Yeah.
I'm a junior. Senior comes up with a good inside the park home run on that one.
Yep.
And I flew in, and it's an all-day interview at a big. It's a mill. It was a huge production plant, union plant, amazing people, and allegedly in quotes, Rick Wills said to me, everybody here has a nickname. And when whoever gets hired in this position is going to be named Sparky. Okay, I don't remember that, not for a second, but clearly it was set because of what's going to happen next. So I got hired on the spot. Okay, a month later, I show up with a U-Haul, family, the whole 9 yards. And I walk into work, and there's a huge big banner, "Welcome, Sparky."
Wow.
Okay, good, nice. It'll be great to work with that guy. I walk in, gal at the front desk, "Hey, Sparky, how's it going?" And I looked around. I'll go, who the hell's that? Well, that's you. What? Okay, just move on. And then, then the joke comes out of the bag pretty quick. Rick said, "Well, I introduced you." I said, "Well, we hired this guy by the name of Tom Clifford, but he really prefers to be called Sparky." So it kind of was, okay, they've had a month to noodle on this. And so then I get like the email, sparky@bonta.com. The CEO of the company's calling me Sparky, the president. And so it was just hey, call Sparky, he'll solve it. Call Sparky, he solved it. And Rick was a huge cheerleader for me. And I don't think he realizes the cheerleading that he did. And, his management style was this, and I loved it. He says, "I'm going to give you something to do. I'm going to break down barriers, and I'm going to get out of your way." Holy cow. He didn't micromanage. He didn't do this. He didn't do this. He didn't do this. He says, "I'm going to give you something to do. You come to me with issues, and I'm going to get out of your way." And he let me do what I need to do. And it was a really weird environment because there were some people who felt threatened by me. And I remember once we're in a meeting and a gentleman gets up and starts giving some ideas, and Rick stood up in the meeting and go, wait a minute, that's Sparky's idea. He gave that to me a month and a half ago. I shared it with you. Now you're putting your name on it. That's not fair. This guy's the guy who did it. And so Rick always gave me the credit and always knew. So he was definitely a servant leader. He, knew, and he always gave me the props that I needed, the little, hey, nice job, Spark, that kind of thing. It doesn't take a lot of nice job, way to go, keep up the good work to keep you coming.
That's right.
I mean, sure, everybody wants seven figures, but I promise you, there's definitely seven-figure people who really dislike their job and would do anything, would chew off their leg to get out of it and find something different if the environment's horrible. And Rick made it beautiful. He made it fun. He made it amazing. And it was such a pleasure to work with him because he helped frame me. And I think that's really key. Another saying that I like to have is, if you're green, you're growing, and if you're brown, you're dead. And I really, he always had faith in me, and we still talk to this day. We do lunch and we'll goof around, and it's amazing to be able to work with somebody who has your back, puts faith in you. You want to surround yourself, regardless of what it is, Kevin, you want to surround yourself with cheerleaders.
Yeah.
You got to pay attention to those who aren't clapping when you win.
Yep.
And then surround yourself with the people who are clapping when you win.
Absolutely.
Because those people you want to be around. You want to be around people who will come to you and say, hey, I don't know how to sell this. Can you help me? Sure, I can help you. And then when it gets done, aren't going to say, well, wait a minute, I got it all myself. No, you didn't. You want people with the same mindset who are all going to lift. Just like the Amish in upstate New York, a good Amish barn raising. Those guys will get.
I saw a video of that. They just, all those Amish guys picked up that whole dang barn and moved. I'm like,
correct. They'll get 200 of those guys, and they'll lift that wall that should take a crane. But they get the block and the tackle and they get it all done. They get it all dialed in. They know how to do this. And it is that right there. And it just came to me. That's the huge primary lift where you stand. Not one of those guys can do that by themselves, but with a team, and everybody's rowing the same direction. Everybody's, when you surround yourself with people who want to be the me, I'm out. I'm totally out. Nobody wants to be a me. Nobody likes to, the people who are leading with their hand. Here you go, Kev. Here, what can you do for me? What can you do for Tommy? No. What can I do for Kevin? How can I listen? How can I help? And, because I promise you, if you share a problem and you say, well, wait a minute, I need help with my Google business profile. And then you go, oh, wait a minute, I know somebody who can do that. And now you've listened, you're solving a problem. You're not a salesman. You're a problem solver. There's a huge difference. No knock on salespeople, because salespeople are important, but I don't want to be a used car salesman. I don't want to oversell and underdeliver. That's the pitch. I got no time for that. Got to oversell, and actually you need something that sells itself. Don't oversell anything. Let something else sell it, and then you're just there to be the Sherpa. I'll just help you get to Mount Everest. You already want to go. I'll take you there. You know what you want to do. And so I think that, surrounding yourself with amazing people like John, my buddy John. Oh my gosh, we knew each other in college, and then we fell off the map for 25 years. And then like 9 years ago, somehow we fell back in love via social media. And now with Snapchat, we talk to each other either on the phone or via Snapchat on a daily basis, and have for almost the last 5 years.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
It is. It's Kevin, it's remarkable. And this is the way it's supposed to be. You know, I believe families are forever. I do. I believe that this earth is just a little part in time, and that there's something bigger and grander for us. I do. And I think our friends that we get together, we're going to get to have that also. We're going to have this friendship pool. And I think that you're now in it. You got yourself a front row seat. You got front row seats, and John's got front row seats. And I think that all these people together, when you surround yourself again with cheerleaders, that's where you want to be. You know, I don't have any time. I mean, people aren't going to have a positive day. Every day is not going to be 100%. You're not going to have a Golden Grams day every day. There's a reference for you. But your tribe will come to your rescue when you don't. When you fall on the during the pouring rain on your knee, your tribe's going to be there to pick you up, to lift you up, and that's really how it works. That's your network is everything. I think resumes are dead. Your network is everything. You just have to, lean on your network, build up other people, and then people want to give it back to you. That's the best part of it. Yeah. That's the best part of this. Hey, I can solve that problem. Oh, wait a minute. What problem do you have solve, Tommy? Well, I need this, this, and this. Oh, I know a guy. And then you start connecting.
Yeah. Like
the phone company. Kevin, you're like the phone company. You're like the old operator on Saturday Night Live, you're plugging the stuff in, but that's how it works. That's how this right here is platinum. Gold is old. This is platinum because this is how it works. Yeah. And this is how you get people together to make stuff happen. Yep. Make it happen.
That's right. And when you get like-minded people, I love serving what I call second stage entrepreneurs, meaning that they are at the point in their business where they're beyond needing to create cash flow for sustainability. They are now, what inspires them most is impact and legacy, one or both of those things. They are using their business to make their biggest impact possible that they can make. And when you get people like that together and connect them, and you get the right people together for the right reasons in the right kind of environment, I mean, magic happens. Because this whole thing that you've been talking about, everybody together, everybody supports each other, and I will tell you, you want to see stuff get done. Stuff gets done like now.
Well, that's the whole thing. I mean, you get dry wood, you get a little bit of flint and some steel, and you get fire. And that's the whole thing. You just got to bring the right things together. A little bit of John Moyer, a little bit of Tommy Clifford, a little bit of Kevin, and now we got a podcast together. This is gas heat. This really is. And this, I've always said that I'm like, you're only one phone call away from really being great. Because you have a frown, you get one phone call, that's going to turn it right upside down, and you're going to be smiling. It just takes that little injection, and you got to be the reason for that phone call. Maybe it's a video. Maybe you get a video message in the morning. I don't know anybody who ever gets one of those, but you get a video message in the morning, thanking you for something, or you get a thank you card. Those types of things are high impact and make a difference. And when people see the good that a thank you card can do, or a video message, they go, hey, wait a minute, I need more of that in my life. I need to duplicate it. I need to triplicate it. And that's how this process works. That's exactly how this works.
Yes. Yeah. And you're right, that the whole thing, what I can tell you from years of experience, no matter how successful somebody is, no matter how great their business looks like from the outside looking in, there's not a person on the face of this earth that gets too much appreciation. We all crave more of that. We all want more kudos. We all want people acknowledging us. And this whole thing of just being genuinely appreciative, but not just doing it quietly, you know what my buddy Jesse refers to it as active appreciation, meaning we let people know how much we appreciate them. We let them, hey, I really appreciate that podcast interview you did with so and so. I really appreciate that thing that you did. And man, that one thing alone of actively appreciating other people, that has opened up so many conversations, opened up so many doors for me over the last decade plus, just being genuinely appreciative of others and letting them know that we're appreciative of them. You know,
No one's ever going to come to you, Kevin, and say, you know what, you didn't have to thank me. That was dumb.
yeah,
You didn't have to thank me. That was a waste of energy. It's never going to happen. And
no.
sometimes when I do something nice and then they thank me for it, I go, oh, no, you shouldn't have thanked me because now I got to do something nice again. But, you know, Kevin, I think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We're past the meat. We're past the milk. Now we're really working up. We're fine tuning this in the servant attitude and giving back.
Yeah.
Those are the two things. I mean, if you're starving, you can't give back to other people. That's a hard thing,
yeah.
You know. But when you live a fulfilled life and you see the good that happens, and you see what you're doing inside. I mean, some people come to me and say, well, why'd you do that? They're just stealing your money. I said, you know what? I did this because I wanted to. Their intention and what they're going to do, I'm still going to get the blessings. My tote board's going up because I listened. Somebody inside said, you know what? That person needs something. That person needs a handshake. That person needs a $5 bill. They need a lunch, whatever it happens to be, you know, and there's the cynics in the world. I try not to be cynic. Kevin, I want to look at everybody that they're a solid gold 100%. And then there's some people who look at somebody, wait a minute, they're this, and this. They got to earn it. No, they have a full bank account with me. They have to ruin it for me.
Yeah.
And so that's the way I go in. I'm going to lead with that. And I get it. You're a police officer. You're trained. You're a little bit more, subdued. Not me. I'm going to go up and I'm going to shake that person's hand. I'm going to thank them for what they're doing, and I'm going to make a difference right in my little circle of influence.
Yeah.
And I think that right there, that helps me attract other people that are like this.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. I'm not everybody's Diet Coke. I get it. Some people don't like it. Some people want Diet Pepsi or Diet Mountain Dew. Ooh, Diet Mountain Dew. I could go for that. But when you find your people and you're on a track, I mean, just like you and I mean, after you and I had our initial discussion, we've gone back and forth via text messages a couple times because I can't get enough of you. And for some reason, you think I'm pretty special, and you keep answering my text messages, so I haven't ruined it yet. And that's the beautiful part of this whole process.
Yeah.
You find someone, you hook onto somebody's train, you move to a switching station. Okay, I can help over there. Okay, I can help over there. Or maybe I'm going to still stay on the train, but you surround yourself with great cheerleaders.
Yeah.
And that's you're winning the game. When you can go to sleep at night and say, you know what? I dug the hole a little bit deeper. I helped the old lady. I did whatever it happens to be. You know, I left the place a little bit better. I didn't torch the place. That makes you sleep good, knowing that you did good. I added value. It doesn't have to be, Kevin, it doesn't have to be 100% value. Maybe it's just 1% value. At least you left it a little bit better than it was when you got there.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. And the longer I'm on this side of the dirt, I'm going to continually listen to people, tell a few jokes, maybe get myself in trouble, but I'm always going to try to leave the party better than it was when I got there.
Yeah. Amen. You know, Tommy, for anybody listening to this, who's just thinking, man, Kevin, I really like Tommy. I like what he stands for. I like the way he shows up. If they were so inclined to reach out to you, what's the best way, for them to get?
The best way to do it is if you go to my website, which is just a big landing page for me. It's www.tommy, and then my initials TRC, my AOL handle for those of you who are AOL speakers. So my AOL screen name was TommyTRC.com. And you can see my email, my websites, all kinds of different different things there, my Twitter, my Facebook, all different stuff. But there's my email address. Email me, give me a call. Let's talk. I love talking to people. If it's not marked as spam, leave me a message. I love voicemail messages, and I love connecting. Kevin, someday when you give up the torch, I want that torch. I want to be in the chair. You got the chair of power, just going back and forth and meeting people. How great is it to meet people and to connect? That right there is remarkable. It's like a switch goes off. Oh my gosh, it worked. Oh my gosh, it worked. And you're helping make that one phone call, because you're only one phone call away from greatness. You're right there, the intermediary. You get into this inner circle, you're right there with greatness. Now you just got to figure out who's the other people that you're going to talk to.
Yeah.
And it's magic. It's total. This thing is so powerful, what you're doing here. And people, and the people who get it, to the moon.
Yeah.
Because it is. This has got so much rocket boosters on it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to have this conversation today. And just, I'm really excited to share this interview. And tell me, any last thing you feel led to share before we call it a wrap?
You know, I feel inspired to talk about my experience on Saturday.
Okay.
And it's an emotional experience. Every morning I go for a 30, 60-minute walk. I'm on a journey. I'm down about 55 pounds of my all-time high. It's been a roller coaster, neither here nor there. That I like to say I'm big boned, but I know that's not it. I know that's not it. So I'm on my walk and I see a gentleman on the corner with a big Jesus Saves poster. And he's getting honked at. I'm sure there's people who weren't as nice as myself, but I felt like I should go up to him and just shake his hand. And I went up to him and I introduced myself. I said, "Hi, I'm Tommy. Thank you for what you're doing." And he was totally taken aback. And I told him, I said, I wouldn't go about this way, but I'm thankful that you're doing what you're doing, because you're trying to leave Appleton better than it was when you got here. And yes, I believe in Jesus. Yes, I'm a Christian. Am I going to stand on the corner with a sign? Not in a million years. But you are, and you're trying to leave this Saturday better than it was when you got up. And I'm thankful for that. And I told him that. And it was an emotional moment as I walked away. And I think that the world needs more people to recognize the good that's going on. Yeah. There's a lot of good. Now, granted, there's a whole heck of a lot of stuff that we don't want to talk about, but there's good. And if we focus on the good and the common ground that we have, like that gentleman, I wouldn't have gone about doing it that way. But you know what? I'm thankful he did. And I'm thankful that we have a similar message that we can share. And he took the time away from his family, whatever. He thought that was necessary. He left that world that day better than it was when it got there.
Yeah.
And that's my message. I think that together we can all do that. I mean, if it's just a small little baby step, we can make today better than it was this morning when we got there.
Amen. Amen.
Thank you. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for this wonderful, wonderful opportunity just to chat and riff and talk about some stuff and to hopefully inspire people to be better.
Yep. Well, the goal with this podcast from the very get-go has always been to use these conversations to inspire our listeners who are also entrepreneurs, CEOs, founders. I just want to use these conversations to inspire them to place a more intentional focus on creating more real, meaningful, rewarding, and profitable relationships in their own life. And Tommy, with your help today, we definitely delivered on that. And so I
love it. I love it. Beating expectations. That's what it's all about. Underselling, over deliver. That's what I like to do.
Amen. Bam. Yes. So Tommy, thank you so much. I'm excited to get this out there. And yes, thank you. Really appreciate you, man.
Thank you so much for having me. This was a treat. This was a delight. This was 2 scoops of ice cream, is what the with extra hot fudge, because I'm a big hot fudge fan.
Well,
Kevin,
there you go. There you go.
This past week and a half since you and I have met has really been a stratospheric rise in my mental state, my family, everything. This is remarkable. It really is. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong, but with my mental state. But you know, when you find like people and you get text messages from people like you who ask the question, you ask probing questions, who are genuinely interested in your success. When you surround yourself with people who are genuinely interested in the success of others, how can you lose?
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't. And and you held out a hand. You've held out your hand, and John held out his hand, and we got together. This is mind-boggling what's going on here. Totally mind-boggling, and I can't wait for more. I can't wait. I love every minute of it.
I'm with you. It's addicting, and I love doing this. I love just doing what I get to do in this world, and I just want to keep on facilitating so much more of this right here.
It's such a blessing. This was top notch. This was the highlight of my 4 o'clock hour for sure.
Well, there you go. There you go. Well, Tommy, thanks again, man. Really appreciate you.
Thank you so very much, Kevin.